Hello and welcome to Leadership Insights. Today we are going to talk about self-leadership or leading self. And in this lesson, we'll be looking at what self-leadership is and attributes that help us grow as effective self-leaders. So what is self-leadership? Self-leadership is a process whereby you influence yourself in order to achieve your goals and live your mission or passion. It's very important for you as a leader to have a personal mission. Why are you there as a leader? Why do you exist as a leader? Self-leadership helps you to clarify those issues about yourself. When you talk about self-leadership, it actually involves competencies of self-observation and self-management. Self-leadership is very important because it impacts all aspects of our lives: health, career, family, finances, faith, relationships, name it. It is therefore very important for all of us to desire to develop self so that we can also be effective not only on other people but effective in what we do. When we talk about self-observation, because I've said two competencies are important, self-observation and self-management. Self-observation is a process that involves looking at yourself inwards in order to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Self-leadership is similar to what the Jewish sages used to call an audit of the soul. Every time you conduct that audit of the soul, you look at areas that you're doing well and areas that are inhibiting you so that you don't achieve your maximum potential, or you don't even live your mission and your purpose in life. It is therefore very important for you to continuously observe self in order to identify the strengths and leverage on them, and also identify weaknesses or areas of improvement that you need to focus on so that you can live to your maximum potential. When it comes to self-management, it involves two aspects: commitment and resolve to address the issues that need to be addressed, and also to leverage on your strengths so that you can become a better and effective leader. Self-leadership involves attributes such as clarity of what you want to be. That is clarity of vision, clarity of purpose. That's very important when it comes to self-leadership. Another important attribute of self-leadership is the ability to navigate difficult decisions to a desirable outcome. You realize that some people find it difficult even to make tough decisions. They would rather either procrastinate or just leave it all the same. But when you become an effective self-leader, you'll be able to navigate through difficult decisions, and at the end, you come up with very suitable outcomes. The third aspect of self-leadership, I will call it regulating your emotional responses. And later on, of course, when we will be discussing in future lessons on self-transformation, we'll be focusing more on this because it involves the ability to develop your level of emotional intelligence. So that's another aspect of self-leadership, the ability to regulate your emotional responses to your environment. You realize that majority of the people, rather than responding to the issues that come their way, they react. And when you react, you don't come up with the best decisions or even the most favorable outcomes. You therefore need to learn how to be responding to situations rather than reacting to those situations. Another aspect of self-leadership attribute is the ability to improve on your habits and your behavior, so that your habits will be only those that will lead you to succeed as a leader. And finally, it is important as a self-leader to know what you stand for and what you live for. What are your values? What is it that you stand for as an individual, as a leader? The day you grow and decide, this is what I stand for, these are my boundaries, then you are on your way to becoming an effective self-leader. Remember, all this cannot happen if you are not going to conduct that audit of the soul continuously in order to identify areas that need to be improved. Remember, I am not talking just about leadership, but most importantly, self-leadership. Why? Leadership focuses on influencing others. Self-leadership focuses on influencing self in order to live a fulfilled life. Some sad statistics tell us that self-leaders are few. And very few people actually achieve mature adulthood, because self-leadership is similar to mature adulthood. Some studies suggest that only about 3% of the entire population ever reaches mature adulthood, all because they have failed to lead self. When you reach mature adulthood, you stop placing authority on others, because some people believe that an effective leader must exercise authority over others in a way that kind of oppresses, and that will never give you the desirable outcomes. When we talk about mature adulthood, we are talking about placing responsibility on ourselves for our actions and our behavior, so that we grow as individuals. We grow emotionally, physically, mentally, all aspects of our lives. When we grow, we become better leaders. I would want to suggest that for you to be effective in the audit of the soul, it is advisable that you conduct this audit either on daily basis or semi-weekly basis. That will help you to continuously keep track on whether you are developing or not. This continuous audit of the soul helps us to reinforce positive and constructive mindsets, behavior, and actions. Finally, I want to say this about self-leadership, that it requires you to guide yourself into gentleness, humility, and compassion. When you start auditing your soul, you'll actually realize that you have so many areas of improvement, or weaknesses if you like, that you want to address, and that may cause you to be harsh on yourself. Be gentle on yourself. The second thing I've said, humility is important. Accept the areas that you're not doing well. Many leaders, especially those at the top levels of leadership, even when they have weaknesses, they do not have ability to accept that they are making mistakes, and that is why they reach disastrous outcomes later, because they refuse to apply humility. So humility is very important when it comes to self-leadership. And finally, be compassionate on yourself. Even when you try something, as you do the audit of the soul, and you find like it's not arriving at the pace that you want, keep to it. Be compassionate on yourself. And finally, you'll find yourself arriving at the place where you desire to be. In the next session of self-leadership, we'll be looking at the reasons why self-leaders are few, and what we need to do in order to develop, to become effective self-leaders. See you soon.